After watching this video tutorial, you will know how I've created kitchen drawers in Blender from just the very basic 3D geometry, matched 3D camera and a photo reference. This video is part of my interior visualization course in Blender, which is available for free on my channel. You can find a complete playlist with other parts, link in the description field, and if you want to access all of the course project files I've created and support what I do, I share more information on that at the end of the video. Anyway, my name is Lech and welcome to my interior visualization course in Blender. Hi everyone, in this video we're gonna focus on modeling and detailing the kitchen island we have visible here. And since it's already camera matched, we have the basic shape done pretty nicely. What we are left with is adding the shelves here in the front together with the handles, the more complex details here, which I'm going to be using chocofur models for. And by the way, the models are linked under the video so you can download them and test yourself. We also need to focus on not forgetting those little details like the tabletop separated from the shelves, this side panel as well. And since we don't have any references unfortunately on the island front view, that's gonna be up to our interpretation, so we will create it ourselves. So I'm just gonna hide everything except the kitchen island and let's start working. I'm gonna start the entire process by separating the top working surface. So from the side view, I'm selecting all of the vertices and hitting the Y key to separate it from the main geometry. When I press G, you can see it's separated. I'm gonna hide it for now. And I'm also gonna do the same with the side panel here. So again, I'm gonna press Y key to separate it and hide it. Let's now return to the camera view and create those shelf divisions. I think it's barely visible, but still visible. We have three lines going here. So let's create 3 loop cuts. 1, 2, 3, left click, 0, and enter to accept. Now, similar as with the wooden panels and the staircase, let's select those faces, duplicate them by Shift D, and let's just move them forward like this for now. I'm gonna select every second one of them and press Y key, so we have these faces separated from each other. Now we can select all of them, I think, right now, and do the same scaling as before. So pivot points set to individual origins, pressing S for scaling and limiting the operation just to the X axis. But let me just zoom in a little bit, and yeah, let's do it just like this. Now switching to top view, I'm gonna extrude those faces just a little bit forward, just like that. Left clicking, I'm hitting the L key, sorry, and in order to select them, and I'm just moving those elements back to their original position. Let's leave the object, the edit mode, and see how it looks. I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. So now let's unhide everything else and let's focus on the upper working area. Before we create an opening for the sink element, I would suggest cleaning up the model just a little bit because we have, as you can see, those bottom faces and some other leftovers from our main geometry. So let's just select these faces here, and I think, do we have a face here? No, I think it's okay for now. So let's delete these faces together with that one. Occasionally I like to remove double vertices just to be sure if we don't have anything hidden. Let's now check the model from the side view as well. It seems pretty good. So I'm now gonna select this edge loop here, delete it. Now these two edge loops as well, and these two. I'm selecting the edge loops, holding Alt key and left clicking, and to select multiple I need to add Shift key to that. So X, delete edge loops. Now I'm gonna select those two edges and create a new face. Let's see if it works. It all works. So now from back from the camera view, I can add two clean edge loops and follow what my camera is seeing, so we can cut out the opening, I think, pretty precisely. Now we need to add a loop cut in this area and just see if the proportions are okay. I think there are. Yeah, so we still need to mark this little area here. Let's just create an edge loop, move it somewhere here. Yeah, I think it's okay. So we can now delete these two faces. You can see it's pretty the same process when deleting the faces and creating an opening for the stairs in the floor slab elements. And again, clean and easy and simplistic mesh allows us and saves us a lot of time, and I think we are able to keep things nice and tidy this way. Anyway, I'm gonna unhide everything right now just to see how the model looks in general. Obviously we need to select these three faces here, switch to the side view and just move them a little bit like that, so it's all aligned. And what I also suggest doing is selecting those upper faces from the shelves we just created and moving them down just a little bit, so we have this nice opening, this nice crack, I don't know if it's the right word, here in the model, just as in the reference. And it's also a place where we're gonna place the those handles like in the reference. So maybe I move them just a bit down. So back to the camera view, we are getting there, I think. Still need to work on this corner here, so let's do it right now. Let's go back and press the L key to select it, hide everything else, and same story. Let's clean up the mesh first. So I'm deleting this one vertex that was hovering somewhere here. Now I'm deleting those two edge loops, the third one, and now I'm gonna create new faces here and here. Yeah. So with all that done, we are actually just left with aligning these newly created faces to what's already existing. I'm gonna switch to this front view here, just move those a little bit down, and from the side view I'm gonna press Ctrl plus num key plus just to grow my selection, G, Y, and move those vertices forward. So you can see I'm not even using a snap tool at this point. I don't think we really need to. We are working on a very close zoom, and yeah, I think those models match pretty nicely. I would still try maybe moving these up a little bit, but those details will be fine-tuned on the rendering stage, because only when you render and see the shadows and everything you're able to determine if these little spaces are big enough or not. What we are still left with, I think, you can see if I hide this face, we have this huge opening here. When I unhide it and go to the edit mode, you can see we have this little transparency kind of happening here. So I think that should be fixed, and let's do it right now. Fixing the transparency will be actually quite simple. So let's actually hide everything except of the main object. Go to the edge selection mode and let's extrude those two edges up. We need to activate the snap tool. So let me switch to the vertices, press G, Z, and now hold Control. Now I'm gonna extrude within the Z axis again, hold Control here, select everything, switch to the vertices and remove double vertices. So we have those area merged right now. And yeah, by selecting those two edges here, I'm gonna fill them with a new space. Go to the object mode just to see how it all looks. And it's now done pretty nicely. So we are left with the front of the object, which perhaps will be not even visible in the visualization, but it's not that hard to create. So let's do it. Since we don't need those edge loops here any longer, because the shelves you can see already exist, let's just remove them, and it's going to be easier now for us to divide this space evenly. Let's see if we can divide it proportionally. So just for a test, I will add one edge loop here, and yeah, let's add a two here. Well, actually, I think it looks pretty nice, to be honest. So let's create two edge loops here. So all those faces I'm now selecting will be our shelves. The process for creating them, it's exactly the same as we did with those four main ones here. So I'm going to duplicate those faces, move within the y-axis. Now let's select every second of them like this, press Y, and now I'm gonna select the upper row and press Y again. So now you can see we have each one of them independent. You might be wondering, let me do it, like, why didn't you select them like this? It would be quicker. The reason is we have one vertex which joins them always together. So if I press L key, you can see they somehow select independently. I don't know why. But if I select the face and just move it around, it's still connected with this one point to the rest of the object. I don't know why it doesn't actually connect when I press L, but it doesn't matter. Let's delete it and get back to our geometry. So I'm gonna select all of the faces right now. We have individual origins active here. Let's scale those faces within the x-axis just a little bit. Now Z, just a little bit like that. Should be fine. We will fine tune it later if it's necessary. Now extrude it within the y-axis. Select everything and just move back to the object. I think the result is pretty good. Just to make it perfect, let's select those bottom faces and switch to the side view and just extrude them a little bit like that. So the shelves we've just added, they don't overhang, you know what I mean, like this from the shelf. So let's make it an even surface, very minimalistic and nice looking, just like that. Yeah, we are now left with adding the details and handles. Oh, and we are left with adjusting the those surfaces here. So let's do it quickly. I will select them. And from the side view, let's just move forward like this. Yeah, so we are just left with the handles and the details on top right now. I will start with adding the details. So this will be chocofur kitchen 1 and 4 models. I will simply drag and drop them to the scene, append, and select all of 3 objects I have here. So let's move them together somewhere around the opening. And I think the middle object is what we actually need. So I will delete the 2 others, rotate this one within the Z axis and move it down like this. And yeah, you can see we need to fit it into the opening. This can be done in 2 ways. Normally, I would suggest simply scaling this object within the x-axis, but you can see some of the details get deformed this way. So we would need to play around just a little bit more. First, I'm trying to match this dimension and move the object up and down to see when it touches the surface. And as I already told you, with the windows, some of the chocofur models have the shape keys allowing you to edit them without even entering the edit mode. So as you can see, we can change the width of this object without deforming the main details that are available. So I think that actually does the trick already. Let's just keep it as it is and add the remaining detail. And that's gonna be chocofur kitchen model number 4. Again, dragging, dropping, selecting all of the objects because I truly don't know which one is the one we need. I think it's this one. So let's delete the 4 remaining ones, switch to the side view just to move stuff quicker. Now let's rotate it. And I'm gonna switch back to the camera just to know if I have the right height of the object and the right positioning. I think actually we could maybe leave it with this height, maybe just decrease it slightly. Let's also move it a little bit to the center, maybe like this, maybe like that, doesn't matter that much. Yeah, I would say in the reference we only have this kind of object visible, but I would simply leave it as it is. I think it's gonna look nice, and it doesn't have to be 100% as in the reference. We are just making a nice picture in the end. So yeah, I would say we're 95% done. What we are just left with are those handles, and I'm gonna use a very simple, as always, a cube to create them and add around the model. So to save you time, I will just speed up this part of the video so you can always slow it down if you don't see everything. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. We will still have to apply shaders to this model, but we are gonna do it in the next chapter, focusing on rendering and materials. So thanks for watching. Enjoy watching the end steps of this part, and see you in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. In the next video, we will still continue working on the drawers and shelves, but after that, our kitchen will be almost finished. We will be just left with the appliances and the equipment. If you like the video, if you would like to support what I do and access to all of the project files that I've created, together with complete Blender interior scenes and over 2000 Blender ready exclusive 3D models, just visit the chocofur store, check out our subscription plans, because these truly are the best money can get you if you want to get better at Blender. Thank you guys for watching again, and see you in another video. Bye bye.